We would like to introduce you to Mary Jo Novak, who is the Teacher of the Year 2009 for the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you teach and what you teach.
I am lucky enough to teach kindergarten at Rancho Cordova Elementary, which is right around Zinfandel and 50, just kind of right in there. Really nice old school. I believe it was one of the oldest schools in our district. So it's been updated, and so we have the beauty of the old school with all the new bells and whistles. So it's really nice.
Well, tell us about your class.
I am an afternoon kindergarten teacher, and I have quite a few students in my class who are learning English as a second language. I also have lots of students from other countries who are already English proficient, and so we have a nice mix of children from all different backgrounds, and it's really exciting. I love nature, and so we have lots of plants and animals in our classroom, and lots of really fun activities too.
So tell us about some of the challenges that you face every day as a teacher. You mentioned having English language learners in your classroom. I would imagine that's a challenge along with some other things.
I think one of the major challenges for my particular setting is that I do have 32 students, and so it makes getting to spend quality time with individual students more challenging. It's really exciting to watch children grow through their kindergarten year. There's a lot of change that occurs, and so children who come in learning English as a second language will be having conversations by the end of the year. So they may not understand what I'm saying in the beginning, but by the end they're, owning it and taking off, and it's an exciting thing to watch. It can be challenging though, in that I have to adjust the things that I say. And when I first came to my school, I remember my very first day, I had lots and lots of kids who were learning English as a second language, and I was talking very fast because I was nervous, and I was reading a story, and I remember just looking at them, and their faces were just like, what is this woman doing? And so by the end of the week, my voice had slowed considerably, and they were much happier understanding what I was talking about, or at least able to pick up some of the words that I was saying. And so that's been an adjustment. But what I've noticed is that things like that have benefited all the children in my class, and it hasn't necessarily, I haven't necessarily noticed that I singled out any one group, that all the things that I do for individual groups help everyone. So I think that's one of the exciting things about teaching kindergarten, is that we're starting at the very beginning, and so we're able to just watch so much change.
Well, how long have you been a teacher?
This will be my 15th year teaching, 15th or 14th.
You lose count after a while.
You do. Yeah. I taught preschool for 4 years, and then I've been a kindergarten teacher for 10. So I guess that is 14.
In that span of time, how have you seen things change in the classroom, whether it's students or for what you have to do as a teacher?
I've seen things become much more standards-based, which I think is good in a lot of ways. I think it's important that we don't lose sight of the whole child, that we aren't just teaching standards, that we're teaching children. And so I've noticed that, or I've seen standards come in. There were no standards when I first started, or they were just beginning to be a part of our everyday worlds. And I've seen really good curriculum come out of something focused like our state standards. And so I'm excited about that. Let's see, what else have I seen real changes? I think
what about as far as the students' changes and their needs over time? Are children the same 15 years ago as they were today?
No, I think that there's a lot more families that are struggling, and even when both parents are working, it's really hard for a lot of our families to make ends meet. And so I think that children are worrying about things that I don't think children worried about as much when I was a child or years ago. They're much more aware of how things are within their own families and within the world to some extent, which is interesting. And I think that maybe the amount of television and the internet and all those kinds of things that have happened over the last 10 years are impacting even our smallest children.
So what do you do to motivate your little ones in the classroom?
Well, in kindergarten, we're bouncing in the door, so we're very excited about learning. Mm-hmm. And I think the most thing that I can do, or the thing that works best for me, is talking about the whys. Why are we learning these letters? What are we doing? You know, did you want to know about some sharks or whatever book I happen to have? And they say, yeah, and I say, well, you know, if we learn these letters, we can put them together and we can read about it, and you could do it on your own. And they just are besides themselves excited. Reading is fabulous. And so I think telling them the whys of things helps, and I also create an environment that is absolutely a joy to be in. We have lots and lots of fun things to do in our classroom, and they have opportunities and time to be kids and play. Mm-hmm. And so when it's time for us to sit down and work, they're ready, and they know why. So that's really my motivation.
Well, we've talked about motivating the kids. Well, what motivates you as a teacher? What made you become a teacher?
Well, it's kind of a weird story. I actually had a 4th grade teacher that was awful, and it was a horrible year. And I remember as a 4th grader sitting there thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to be a teacher so that kids don't have to be in classes like this. And I never forgot it. And I did some other things. I worked in a recreation field with people with special needs, but it was always there in the back of my mind. And I eventually became a preschool teacher, and I absolutely loved it. And so I continued on my path that it started when I was in 4th grade. And I think what I enjoy so much about being a teacher is creating that class that I wanted when I was a child. And it's so rewarding every day because they motivate me when they're bouncing in that door ready for whatever I've created or come up with, or someone else has come up with, and they love it. And so everybody's always talking about how to bottle the energy of these little guys, and sure. And I get a little bit of it every day, and it's very motivational for me because it's instant rewards for me. You know, it's instant gratification to watch someone be thrilled to be at school. It's really, really nice.
Well, what would you say to those people out there who are thinking about teaching as a career and who might want to do it? What would you say to convince them to consider it?
I would say that it's very exciting and rewarding, and it's also very much an art, and that if you are interested in doing art, it's sort of an art of working with people, and it's an art of creating for others. And so if you're someone who enjoys creating things, or you're someone who enjoys people in general, then teaching is really exciting for you. You're not going to be you know, a Rockefeller or anything, but you are going to be fulfilled in lots of other ways, more personal ways. The rewards are many and small and large all the time.
And every day can be different.
Every day can be different. Every day absolutely is different.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate talking to you. Mary Jo Novak, who is the Teacher of the Year for 2009 for the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.